Alright, like, click, subscribe, do all that. You already know what time it is. It's Netflix time. This movie's called Bad Trip. In this hidden camera prank comedy, two best friends bond on a wild road trip to New York as they pull real people into their raunchy, racist antics. So this movie stars Eric Andre, Tiffany Haddish, Laurel Hallery. So it's a comedy that just came out. It's about an hour and a half long. So you know how in movies you have actors and then you have extras? So the extras are actually real people. They have no idea what's going on. And these are their real live reactions to the scenarios that are taking place. The difference is, it's formatted to have a storyline and it actually plays out like a movie. It has a plot, twist, and all that. So spoiler alert, let's get it. So we start off with Chris. He's over here washing cars and shit. Washing this guy's car. All of a sudden, this lady named Maria pulls up. And he's just mesmerized because this is a girl he had a crush on since like high school. Who he hasn't talked to since then. So he's asking this guy for tips like, yo, how do I look? Do I look good or whatever like that? Hey, make sure you keep her here, blah, blah, blah. So he's about to finish detailing one car. He tells the guy to turn the vacuum on. But for some reason, he got the vacuum cleaner stuck on his uniform. And it sucks up his whole uniform. It's like, what the fuck? He tries to stall to get Maria's number, but to no avail. And Chris is wondering to himself, damn, when the next time I'm going to see her? Now here at the auto supply store of his best friend Trent, serving customers and whatnot. Then all of a sudden, his sister rolls up in his little pink car. It literally says bad bitch on it. Tiffany had his flexing on some G shit. Flexing on niggas. Well, anyway, she asked her brother for like $50. He's like, man, you know I ain't got no money. So she goes behind the register and just takes the shit. Apparently she was on house arrest. She took off a house arrest bracelet. Then she gives the lady some of the money telling them, don't snitch, I see your faces. Yeah, that face should say it all right there. Well, when they go on break, Trent complains about his sister Trina while Chris is thinking about the girl Maria. He's like, oh snap, I haven't seen her in so long, da da da. He tells him one day we're gonna get out of Florida and plan a road trip. It's gonna be epic, adventurous. Yeah, but then a whole year passes by and they're still there and Chris is late for work. I'm like, why is he in a bathtub? Well, anyway, I guess they must have called a plumber to fix whatever was messed up in the house. And Chris is trying to hurry up because he's late for work. We got this montage of him running through somebody's house, helping this lady with her groceries, and a bunch of other stuff. So now he works at a juice bar. And guess who decides to show up? Maria pops up again. This time he actually talks to her. She tells him she's heading back to New York on Friday and gives him a business card for her art gallery. He gets off work and asks this random guy for advice on what to do about Maria. He's like, dude, you just gotta go for it. And then we get this musical number out of nowhere. No, legit, he's standing on a cake in the mall. He got other employees dancing and shit. And again, it's real live people's reactions like, what the fuck is wrong with him? Meanwhile, he talks to his friend Trent and they plan this road trip. And he's like, oh, how are we gonna get there? Well, Chris decides we're gonna take Trina's pink Cadillac. Like, what? So within that year's time, Trina had got locked up for something, so Chris is like, yo, it's all good. Yo, we'll be right back with it before you know it. Trent's like, fuck no. I'm scared to death of Trina. We're not doing this shit. Chris is like, once again, your sister's in jail. What is she gonna do? So he convinced them, and now they got the car and they're going to New York. Then all of a sudden, we see a detention bus with nobody on it. But oh shit, Trina was hiding under the bottom of the bus. Yeah, Trina escaped. This dude's like, all right, I helped you. Now get the fuck out of here. So on the road, Trent's explaining how terrifying his sister is. He's talking about how one time she used to cook on the grill and she used to flip ribs and chicken with not a spatula but a bare hands. That's how tough her hands are or something like that. But Chris is just like, yeah, I'm not eating at your house anymore. Meanwhile, she goes to the spot and finds out her brother got her car. So she's on a mission to go to New York and just straight murk these niggas. So on their way, they stop at a gas station. They ask this random guy about a spot to party at. And don't even ask me how he ended up pulling the whole nozzle out. It's a mystery beyond mysteries. Well, anyway, at this donut shop, we got Trina still looking for these niggas. She even asks as a cop. He tells her you can go to the precinct and fill out a report, but obviously she ain't doing that shit. She just broke out. So she gets fed up and breaks a cop window, rips the whole door off the hinges and steals a cop car. What in all of the fuck? So back in the car, they talking about their favorite movie is White Chicks. You know that movie with the Wayans brothers? They go to this cowboy bar, and they get so wasted, Chris somehow gets on top of the bar, and somehow ends up falling off the shit. He gets up and starts throwing up everywhere. Yeah, it's fucking disgusting. So yeah, they rest her for the night. Next morning, back on the road. While Chris is driving, he starts daydreaming about Maria. About her having a board meeting. Just breaks down the door with candies and flowers. Getting it cracking on the table. There's another dream sequence where they're chilling at the park and some guy tries to talk to her. Right in front of Chris's face. But then she starts to mollywop and starts kicking ass. Then she turns around to this guy's like, what are you looking at? I'm like, he's blind. He's not looking at anything. Then she kicks him in the balls. Beats him with a cane, takes his money. Then they dip out. Then he dreams about them getting married. They all kiss each other, including the minister. But in real life, he really was asleep behind the wheel. Almost got hit by an 18-wheeler, with your goofy ass. Meanwhile, sis is dropping on the highway to New York. Now, I gotta say something about this. I mean, could you be less inconspicuous? Like, really? One, you broke out of prison. Two, nobody on the highway has tried to stop you yet. I mean, you have a police car with no door in it. It doesn't look like you're undercover, so what the fuck? Well, anyway, they stop into some store, and they ask this lady about zoo pamphlets, so they end up going to the zoo. So they go to the zoo, and Chris wants to get a picture with a gorilla face to face. No, I mean, he actually goes in the cage and gets a picture with a gorilla. And because it's YouTube, I will not show you the events that occur afterwards. Trust me, it was a hair-raising experience. Yeah, that was terrible. I'm sorry. Anyway, Trina's still asking around about these guys, and she finds him specifically because they took a picture together somewhere. So she thinks he's hiding information. But wait a minute, did that guy really look like the guy in the picture? I don't see it now. So anyway, Chris is asking if they got any mints in the car or something, and he pulls these bags out of the glove compartment. Trina's a convicted felon. Those are not mints, sir. Why would you think those are mints in regular plastic baggies? Of course they both took them. I'm pretty sure they're acid tripping or LSD or whatever the fuck. They go in the store and they're just half-baked for real. Next morning they wake up on the grass with both of their dicks trapped in a Chinese finger trap. What kind of pills could you have possibly taken to make that shit happen? None. Apparently they were on a golf course, so they try to get this guy to help him out, which he tries to at first. But then he's had enough of that shit and threatens to beat him with a golf club. They go to a black barbershop for help, but you know that's not going to end well. Then they go to this Chinese spot and finally get themselves loose. Then they go to a diner for food. The waiter gives them advice on what to say to Maria when he meets her face to face. They start playing the Golden Girls theme when they get back in the car. Somehow when they got to the hotel, the car needed a jump. This goofball electrocuted himself in the process. Obviously he's not hurt, but she's looking like, oh, what the fuck? Like, how did you electrocute yourself? Trina's still driving on the highway in that same cop car with no door on it. Again, no state troopers on the highway trying to stop her. This shit is crazy. They make a pit stop, Trent gotta go to the bathroom, and Trent gets stuck in a porta potty. I don't even know how that's possible. This lady tries to get him out, but as she's going to get Butter to loosen him up, the whole thing tips over. Yeah, lady, it's quite hilarious. Okay, Trina pulls up in this spot in Jersey looking for these niggas, right? This one lady is like, I'll let you know if I see him. Like, she's ready to give up all the information. The crazy thing is, right after Trina leaves, they pop up in the same spot. So this is now the first time they're finding out that Trina busted out of jail and now looking for both of them. Chris is like, don't worry about it, we still gonna get there, you know what I'm saying? Your sister ain't gonna do nothing, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, Trent is like, yo, fuck that, I'm ready to go back home to Florida. Yeah, this random lady is hilarious. She's giving up all the info, and then she tells us that she used to be a security guard or something. So now Trent's ready to drop back home, but Chris is not having it. He tries to turn the wheel, but they end up running into some cars. Yeah, they completely wrecked that shit. What in all of the fun? One would think to themselves, how did they survive, let alone get out the car? And two, if their sisters catch them, they ain't gonna be alive for long. So yeah, they have a falling out. Afterwards, Trent is ready to get on the bus to go back home to Florida. And Chris is gonna hitchhike his rest of the way to New York. Dude, you're in Jersey. Ain't nobody giving you no rides. Unless you got money. Which in that case, you're just safer taking a bus. Anyway, he has a heart-to-heart with his military vet. He's like, yeah, man, go get your friend back. He somehow catches up to Trent's bus, gives his heart-to-heart speech, Trent forgives him, and they both hop on a different bus to New York. Then they finally made it there. Meanwhile, Trina finds the destruction of her car. If she wasn't pissed off before, shit's really about to hit the fan. So after searching, they finally find the art gallery. This guy's not trying to let him in without a wristband. He gives another heartfelt speech about, I'm doing this out of love. I done came all the way from Florida, all this other shit. And he lets him in. He's like, all right, man, just go on in. Meanwhile, Trina's on the ass. Oh, shit. Meanwhile, Maria's doing her exhibit. And there she sees Chris face to face. He talks about how he wants to start a real relationship with her, you know, saying he's always loved her since high school, all this other stuff. You think she's going to reciprocate those feelings? She's like, yeah, no, I'm just glad we can catch up. You know what I'm saying? You always going to be a friend of all that. Feeling totally rejected. You did all this bullshit for nothing. But then what the fuck happened? Trina crashes through the gallery. She found Chris. Gives him half a beat and it chases him all the way to the rooftop. With nowhere to go, she about to end him. No, legitimately, like he's hanging him off the rooftop. Then all of a sudden, out the blue, Trent pops up. And he stands up to his sister like a real man. He say he ain't no punk. But then surprisingly, she actually hugs him. See, all she's been trying to do was toughen him up the whole time. But she does bang him in his face just for the car, though. He like, yeah, I deserve that. So he comes down, he tries to apologize about the art gallery, talking about, you know, we could sort out some things. So she's pissed off. She's like, get the fuck out of here, yo. So obviously, he ain't getting Maria, but he still wants to do something nice for Trent. So they take a trip to the Hamptons, and they come in dressed like white chicks, like their favorite movie. My thoughts exactly. And then Trina shows up like a white man. She's like, shit, since I'm on the run, I might as well play the part. And then they change the music, get turned up, the end. And in the credits, they basically just show the reactions of real life people after telling them they were involved in the movie process. It's hilarious. Bad Trip on Netflix. Check it out. Like, click, subscribe, do all that. You already know what time it is. Sleek, DZ, LTZ, best. Ow, big. Could have got a slogan.